for the Agriculture Minister now given another term. Mr. Tomar has come out and made it very clear no one is repealing the farm laws. Other big takeaways as well. We're going to keep the focus on that. But let's listen in to another newly minted minister amidst face-offs with social media giant Twitter. Union Minister of State for IT, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, spoke to India Today's consulting editor, Rajdeep Sardesai.
I know you've been very vocal about this,
yes,
which is one of the first challenges that you're going to face, which is how to deal with social media. You've seen what's happened with Twitter, and some believe, there is speculation that Ravi Shankar Prasad, the previous minister, paid a price for this fractious relationship that he had with social media giants. You know, it was making the headlines virtually every day. You've also spoken out as a BJP spokesperson on it. Do you believe that that issue has to be taken to its logical conclusion, that all social media companies or anyone in the digital world also has to conform to Indian laws?
No, look, I think the Union Minister for IT, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav, and I have just taken charge today. These are all important questions. I don't.
No, but you've already, because in your previous avatar as a BJP spokesperson and indeed someone who has been talking on this often, you've been very clear that you believe that these social media giants have to conform to Indian laws.
Yeah, I don't think there is a man, woman or child in India that wouldn't agree with the proposition that anybody doing any work in India should conform to Indian law. What is so controversial about that? That is a simple...
but it's become very fractious and,
I was referring to that point of yours.
Yes.
I was saying that to the question of whether it's fractious or not, I think you need to give this new team in MeitY an opportunity to study the issues, understand the issues. There is a cabinet minister there, there is a minister of state there, there is a full team of people there. We will study these issues and come back to the public and the media at the appropriate time.
Because there's a belief that, you know, whether it's digital media, whether it is these sort of global giants, all of them need a regulatory framework that is transparent, that is fair,
absolutely,
and that applies to all.
And this is not a uniquely Indian idea. This is an issue that the world, economies of the world and governments of the world and democracies of the world are having to deal with. There are some countries like China that deal with it by just completely banning them, not allowing them access. And there are many countries that are having to deal with this. For democracies like India, these platforms do represent a challenge in terms of regulation. And what will be the nature of the regulation, what ought to be the nature of the regulation, what should be their role, what should be the government's role, what should be the institutional capacity built to regulate these entities. These are all issues that the new team...
The criticism is that it could lead to misuse of police powers, arbitrariness or authoritarianism, and will be used to clamp down on free speech. Will be used to clamp down on free speech.
Look, nobody can clamp down on free speech in India. We know it. It's a guaranteed fundamental right. So, I mean, just because somebody huffs and puffs about it...
No, it's guaranteed in the Constitution, but in reality, there have been instances where governments, yours and others, have clamped down.
You remember during the UPA government, Section 66A, I went to court, I raised it in Parliament, nobody did anything about it, and the Supreme Court struck it down. There are courts, there are processes of judicial intervention. If anybody feels that the right to free speech is being curbed, it's a guaranteed fundamental right, Rajdeep. This is not some women fancy thing. So I think just repeating that, saying that we are under threat is all, you know, we are just contributing to a chaotic, confused sort of a argument or a discourse. There is no, especially this government, there is going to be never any threat or challenge to the right to free speech.
All right. Meanwhile, the mega cabinet